Hey guys, Rob here. In this video, I'm going to talk about understanding your player's strengths and how we can then design our strategies to meet that and put our players in positions where they can perform and be comfortable. So our goal here with this, like I said, is we want to make all of our players as comfortable as possible. And that by understanding their strengths and where they like to play, we can not only lock down the positions of things like an entry or a rifle or a lurk, which can be kind of difficult with a new team to figure out who wants to go where, and then we can place them where they need to be via our strategy instead of just trying to tell our entry, hey, go entry. That instead, through these strategies, we can be like, okay, in this one, we're going to put them towards the front. Instead of in an uncomfy spot where maybe he doesn't like to be towards the back and he gets stuck in the back in a clutch where that's not really where he likes to be. So in this video, I'm going to kind of talk about how we can do that and how we can read what our players like to do. All right, this is what I like to call my player scale of aggression. And this is how I like to rate players against each other and kind of get an understanding for where their playstyle lies and how they like to play the game so that I can put them in a position where they're comfortable. So on the far left, we have hyper aggressive players. This is your kind of player that likes to go out, entry frag, take a lot of aim duels, and swing at the opponent to find that like opening kill. We then have explosive players, and these are players that like to get a little bit of information and be kind of that second to fourth man out onto a bomb site. And then we also have on the far right a passive analyst. This is kind of what is like your clutch lurk player that likes a lot of info, and he's normally the last man out in your executes. And I think the most important thing to understand with this is that it doesn't matter what kind of players you have on your team and where they lie on here. We could have 5 hyper aggressive players, or we could have 5 passive players, but that doesn't it's not going to hinder you when like playing or competing. It's more that we just have to understand that and then make strategies that work with those players and make them feel comfortable. With a very passive team, we're not going to want to make a lot of very fast calls off of spawn that go straight into an execute onto a bomb site. With a bunch of hyper aggressive players, that is absolutely what we're going to want to do. And so we kind of want to feel out like where our team lies and what kind of strategies are going to work really well to make sure that they're all comfortable and that we're putting these players in spots that they are comfortable within any execute that we're doing. So this is a hyper aggressive player. This is actually a role that I've had to pick up on the team because we didn't have one of these, and so I've become the entry fragger. And this is someone that we're going to place at the front of the executes, and they're going to run out onto a bomb site. So in this video here, you can see me running out on the bomb site in Mirage, finding a bunch of really quick kills and a lot of chaos, and just being able to break it down, understand what's going on, and roll through the round. And this is just going to be the guy that's taking a lot of aim duels, and really this needs to be not only like someone taking who's like fragging hard, but also someone that's willing to sacrifice themselves for the team. And when we're talking team Counter-Strike, and that they understand that even if they run out and die, that's going to give their second, their third, their fourth guy coming out behind them a lot more opportunity and information to be able to make those plays and put them in a spot that's comfortable. With explosive players, this is probably like your most typical rifler, and this is going to be someone. This is probably going to contain your opper, your support, and your best rifler, but that there's a lot of variation within this section. Like I said, where you can see Mild here on Mirage. He's typically like our second guy out, and he's normally running out, and as you can see, he's just coming out. He gets the first trade, and then he's going to find 2 more kills he's able to string together just from a lot of talent and raw aim ability, along with good knowledge of what's going on within the round. And so he's typically like more of an aggressive player, whereas like Devil is more of a passive guy within this explosive player set for us. And so there's a lot of variation here, and we need to kind of understand like that we have these typically like 3 or 4 players, I'd say, that fall in here, and it could be your whole team, right? But that we need to understand, like, even if they're like all really middle, if some people lean a little bit more towards aggression and some people lean a little bit more towards passive. Now, the passive analyst. This is probably This is your late round player. This is your clutcher. This is a guy that when he gets all the information, he understands what's going on, and he can open up a round for you and win the round. He can also stay alive late and clutch the round out for you. And every single player in this role, I think, is different. I've always had Penguins on my team, and he on his own, for those that know him and have watched him play, is his play style is not like anyone else, and I think that's pretty common with people that fall into this role, where they have their own way of thinking about the game and understanding the game. And as an IGL, you need to talk with that player and understand like what exactly they like to be in and what like the certain scenarios are, and try your best to get them into that position. Because it's definitely taken me like 3 years now to get Penguins into a position where he's actually like pretty comfortable and is given these opportunities of being this late round clutch player that's winning a lot of rounds for us, just by saving some utility, staying alive late. And yeah, so you can see him on overpass here in the video that's playing. He's gonna like run long. He calls it doing a thing. He's gonna run long when he knows that when he suspects that there's not gonna be anyone watching long. He's gonna open up the A bomb site and get us the A bomb site and overpass, which that is just your classic like lurk play that he'll pull out every once in a while. That someone that's in this passive analyst role, when they find a weakness, they want to go and exploit it. So finally, now that we've gone over like the 3 different types of styles, or where we like fall on the scale of aggression, we're going to talk about just building the strategy around that. So like I talked about in my strat book video, where we're building our strategies in Excel, I find that to be the easiest. We can understand where our players like to be, and then we're going to try to design the strategy to put them there. So we can see like I'm listed as the first guy out and I'm the entry. It's pretty simple, right? But then we need to think about like where people are standing when they're throwing the smokes. So like this top con smoke and this deep jungle smoke are both thrown from the like back of ramp on Mirage. This is a Mirage Fast A strat here that I'm using as an example. And the one for deep jungle is thrown like a little bit farther back than the one for top con. So I don't want to put my 5th guy in the one that's a little bit forward. Like if we're throwing the pug smokes on A, you don't want to put your lurk as the guy throwing the jungle smoke. You want to put your lurk, or your last guy out, as the guy throwing the stair smoke, your 4th guy out throwing throwing the CT smoke from the door, and then the 3rd guy out, I guess, being the or maybe 2nd if you have a Palace player, being the one throwing the jungle smoke. Same thing, right? And we can see that like Reese and I here are going to run right out onto the bomb site together, and he's my 2nd guy out. He's coming out to trade me. Noah, the operator, he's going to scope it on CT. He's our 3rd guy. He's playing in the middle. That's where he likes to be. And so we need to think about like it's like where we stand to throw the smokes, where we're having these players go at the beginning of the round, is going to set them up for a lot of success, so that as they're running on the site, if you have the guy that doesn't like to be the early out onto the site, if I put Caden as the 3rd guy, he's throwing like the smoke, some other smoke for a strat where he's going to be the 3rd one in line as we run onto the bomb site, he may like sit back and like wait, instead of being the guy that's like jumping out there and running around. Granted, that's not really like him, but you kind of get the idea. That's really what I'm thinking about as I'm building these strategies. So I hope that kind of helps you guys understand what I think about, and how you can, once you learn what these players do and where they like to be, how you build them into your strategy and get them comfortable. Because I think that's probably the most important thing as an IGL, is just making sure that your players are comfortable. So I hope this helps, and thank you for watching.